Now, in the grand scheme of things, I've been pretty lucky when it comes to experiencing hate. And I'm not talking about YouTube comments or stuff that's said on the internet. I'm talking about real world situations where I felt physically threatened. A few years ago, I went out one night. I was with one of my best friends who was drinking. I wasn't. Designated driver. We met a couple of our friends at the club and they introduced us to two drag queens that they had just met from Brisbane. And after we had a really good time at this club, we left, walked down the street to another gay club. Keep in mind, this is a Sunday night, so there weren't many people around. I was walking out the front of the pack with one of the other friends we met who also wasn't drinking. And we're about 50 meters in front of the rest of the people who are drunk and making a lot of noise, and we didn't really want to be associated with it. And in hindsight, that was a mistake. We should have stayed with them. I could hear a car behind us pulling up, music pumping and people screaming. As they got closer, they turned the music down. It was full of men and they were like leaning out of the windows and screaming and yelling, "You f***ing faggots, you cocksucking faggot c***s." So the road is on this side and I was talking to my friend looking that way. So he could see them and I just kept saying to him, just pretend you're having a conversation with me, pretend they don't exist, ignore them, ignore them, ignore them. Then they started to threaten throwing stuff at us because they had like beers and stuff in their hand. My main worry was that they were going to get out of the car and hurt us. Now, as I said, previously we should have walked with our friends and the drag queens because those two drag queens were like 6'5", and if those guys got out of the car, those drags would have beat the shit out of them. Anyway, they drove off and pulled into the next street around the corner, and I stopped my friend to wait for our other friends because what I was fearing was that they'd pulled around that corner, had stopped the car, and we were just waiting because I couldn't hear the music at all anymore. They weren't there, they were gone. But I felt very, very physically threatened. I was like, this is it. This is the day that I get gay bashed. As you can imagine, the rest of the night wasn't really that enjoyable, but it's probably a good thing that I was sober because then I didn't turn to provoke them or anything, which I may have done when I was drunk. On a scale of what actually happens in the world, this is nothing. But the fact that it made me feel very scared just makes me ill at the thought of what other people have to go through on a daily basis. Also, I've never had another bad experience where I've gone out gay clubbing and people, you know, yelling hate at me. So don't put this off gay clubs. Like, that's one incident in all the hundreds of really drunk nights I had. Thanks for watching, and until next week, that's a wrap. Sleep. Foot.